AITA for telling my boyfriend's family I needed my hands amputated after they kept giving me craft supplies as gifts. I've 25F been dating my boyfriend 26M for about 3 years now. And while he's absolutely wonderful, navigating my relationship with his family has been interesting, to say the least. Let me preface this by saying I'm a crafter. I've loved crafting since I was a kid. It's my way of unwinding, being creative, and even saving the planet in a small way by reusing items most people would throw away. My boyfriend thinks it's awesome and often brags to his family about my little DIY projects, like turning empty wine bottles into decorative lamps or making jewelry out of soda tabs. I've even gifted a few pieces to his family members, which they seemed to appreciate at the time. At first, his family's enthusiasm for my hobby was heartwarming. Whenever we visited, his mom or aunt would hand me a little bag of random items they thought I could use. Empty bottles, fabric scraps, buttons, or soda tabs. I'd smile, thank them, and genuinely appreciate the gesture. It made me feel like they were thinking of me, and I liked being seen as the crafty one in their lives. But over time, their thoughtful gestures started to feel less thoughtful. Last year, my boyfriend's family decided to celebrate my birthday and his sister's, 28F, together since our birthdays are only 5 days apart. I'm not someone who expects grand celebrations or extravagant gifts. I'm happy with a nice dinner and some heartfelt company. But that day, something felt a little off. We were all gathered in their living room, the table loaded with food and decorations. His sister was glowing with excitement as everyone handed her these beautifully wrapped gifts. She opened each one to oohs and ahs. A Pandora charm bracelet, an Apple Watch, a luxurious spa day voucher. I was genuinely happy for her and clapped along, thinking how loved she must feel. Then it was my turn. His mom handed me a brown paper bag with my name scrawled on it in marker. I opened it to find soda tabs, empty plastic bottles, and scraps of fabric. I froze for a moment. I'm not ungrateful, but the contrast was stark. I couldn't help feeling humiliated sitting there with my bag of recyclables while his sister showed off her designer gifts. My boyfriend noticed immediately and shot me a worried glance. I forced a smile, thanked them sincerely, and told them I'd put everything to good use. Later, my boyfriend pulled me aside and asked if I was okay. I shrugged it off, not wanting to make a scene. He was furious on my behalf and wanted to say something to his family, but I begged him to let it go. "It's just a gift," I said, though I could feel the lump in my throat. I don't want to ruin the evening. Fast forward to Christmas. By then, the birthday incident had mostly faded into the background, though my boyfriend hadn't forgotten it. A few days before Christmas, I hurt my wrist at the gym. It was nothing major, just a scrape and some bandages, but it looked worse than it actually was. Only my boyfriend and family knew about it, and I didn't think it was worth mentioning to anyone else. On Christmas morning, we were back at his parents' house. Everyone was exchanging gifts in the living room, and the atmosphere was warm and festive. One by one, his family members opened their presents, revealing thoughtful and expensive gifts. New shoes, designer handbags, an iPhone, gift cards worth hundreds of dollars. The room was filled with laughter and joy. Then it was my turn. His mom handed me another brown paper bag. My stomach sank before I even opened it. Sure enough, inside was a single empty soda bottle, some crumpled aluminum foil, dirty might I add, and you guessed it, a handful of soda tabs. I stared at the contents, my face heating up with a mix of embarrassment and anger. My boyfriend's jaw tightened, and I could see the fury in his eyes. Meanwhile, his family was watching me expectantly, their faces lit up with excitement. "Do you like your gifts?" his mom asked, her voice full of pride. I don't know what came over me, but something inside me snapped. I'd reached my breaking point. Plastering on the biggest, brightest smile I could muster, I said, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. This is so thoughtful. Unfortunately, I won't be able to use these anymore because of my accident." The room fell silent. Confused expressions spread across their faces. "Accident?" his dad finally asked. I nodded solemnly. "Yeah, it's been a tough few weeks. I don't want to ruin Christmas by bringing it up, but the injuries to my wrists are worse than they look. I'll be getting both of my hands amputated soon." The color drained from their faces. My boyfriend, ever the supportive partner, jumped in with a perfectly serious expression. "Yeah, it's been really hard on her. She's trying to stay strong, but it's obviously a huge adjustment." His mom gasped. "Oh my God, we had no idea. That's horrible. I feel so awful about the gift." One of his aunts started tearing up, and his dad kept muttering apologies under his breath. The room was thick with guilt and discomfort. I just nodded, keeping up the act. "It's okay," I said softly. "I'm used to it by now." We left shortly after that. When we got home, my boyfriend couldn't stop laughing. "You're a legend," he said, wiping tears of laughter from his eyes. I'll admit, I felt a little vindicated. For once, they'd been made to feel uncomfortable about their thoughtless gifts. But the story didn't end there. Later that evening, I got a text from his sister. Apparently, word had gotten around that my hands were perfectly fine, and she was furious. She accused me of being cruel and making a scene on Christmas. She said I guilt-tripped the entire family and ruined the holiday spirit. Now I'm conflicted. On one hand, I feel like they needed a wake-up call. On the other, maybe I went too far. I never intended to make anyone cry or ruin their holiday. I just wanted them to realize how hurtful their gifts had become. So, Reddit, AITA,